And in this course, we are going to cover MLDL, GenAI, and Agentic. Is a fast track course that, as you know, right? It is going to be for 7 weeks, and as you already know that the trainings will be held on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? It is going to be at between 8 to 9 p.m. And this is an introductory session where we have gathered to know each other, right? Understand what this course is all about, know more about each other and how we can help, right? It's a cohort, and I'm expecting that lot of conversation will take place between the participants, between the trainers as well, right? We will try to bring all our practical experience onto the table so that each one of us can learn from each other. Look, AI, the way it is moving, right? It is very disruptive. It's a very disruptive times we are living in, and in a way, it's a for people like us who can actually stay on top of the technology, right? Be a part of the people who are doing all these movements, right? Ensuring that there are right kind of developments happening, the right kind of integrations happening. I think for people like us, this is a very exciting time, right? And if you position yourself well, be it if you're running a business, if you are a part of a corporate, and if you know that how AI works, right, you definitely have an edge, right? And I think it's a super exciting time. So we just want to make sure that what we have felt as an organization at TechBaton, right, we are passing these details, these learnings to you so that you can go ahead and replicate that in your organization, in your workplace. So with that, I am expecting that this journey is going to be very exciting, right? And at the same time, very learning one, transformative if it is possible. And please do not hesitate at any point in time if you have got any issues, anything that you want to discuss, anything that you have in AI, please bring on to this forum. We'll be happy to assist, right? And of course, there will be learning involved and it's going to be mutual. You will learn from us and we will learn from you. So let's get started with the introduction. And I hope you can see my screen. So yeah, are you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
your
sir.
screen is visible.
Yeah, all right. Okay. So maybe I and my team can start the introduction. So let me move on to the next slide. People are still joining. So yeah, there is some. Okay, all right. So I think you cannot see this particular screen, right? Slide.
Thanks.
Stuck. Just a second. Yeah. So first of all, the first introduction is about the organization, right? Who's conducting this workshop, right? So TechBaton is primarily AI focused research, training, and consulting organization, and we work with corporates, we work with academic institutions, be it colleges, universities, even at the level of schools, right? And we work with a wide variety of communities. I mean, we are totally focused on AI. And let's meet the trainers. So my name is Arun Chauhan, and I have been in the industry for the last almost 3 decades. I hate to call that out because in a way it reflects my age as well. But at the same time, I think I've been very lucky that I got an opportunity to work with different corporates, Fortune 50 kind of corporates, right? The large one. And I have been exposed to some very interesting implementations all throughout my professional journey. Right at academics level, I have done MTech from BITS planning in data science, and I'm a double master. I did MSc prior to that, and at graduation level, I did economics honors. So in a way, that actually started my journey in the data. Right, statistics I really loved, and since then I have been spending a lot of time in data domain, right? So maybe this will resonate well with somebody. I mean, some of you. I understand, Kamlesh, you come from the data background, so and probably a similar kind of background you also have. So this will resonate well with you. I also have authored a book, Transform AI Transformation Blueprint. It's available on Amazon, and you can always get a copy for yourself. This book actually addresses the lacuna that we have between uh, what is expected, how a AI program should be run, right, versus the way it is ran in the different organizations. So what's happening? We have been approaching AI the way the traditional programs have been executed in the past. So we know that, okay, and based on my own experience, I know that, okay, there are few things work, right, and we are bringing the same process into the programs that are supposed to be carried out a little different, because it's AI. Imagine that you are kind of doing an R&D and you are driven with milestones. It's really tough, right? So mindset needs to be changed, right? And that's what we address in AI transformation blueprint. So whenever you have time, I recommend that you go through this book, and you can always ask for a copy from me as well. I will be happy to send it across to you. With me, I have Trisha, Devansh, and Sanya. So they will be helping us. They come from, I mean, within AI, they have got different expertise. So they will be part of this entire workshop, right? They will be helping with different concepts, right? And of course, specifically in practicals, you can always reach out to any one of us. I mean, this entire team is available for your disposal. We will be happy to assist. And one thing which I would like to assure you is that we are pretty proactive set of folks, right? So the moment you share some problem statement with us, we'll be happy to assist.
Mhm.
So this is a brief introduction about us. You have any questions? All right. Okay. If you do not have any other question, we can probably open the introduction for the forum. Who would like to go first? Any volunteer?
I can go, Arun.
Yeah, sure.
Right. My name is Kamlesh. I currently work in a bank called NatWest. I have close to 20 plus years of experience. Interestingly, I've done multiple roles in the last 20 years. Started as a developer, then moved as a business analyst. I've been a mainframe person largely. I've done mainframe capacity planning, so I've had some access to sizing and SAS modules also. And then became uh, got into Scrum and Agile. So I've played a role of a Scrum Master, project manager, a release train manager.
Mhm.
Uh, a couple of months ago, I was doing a role of platform engineering manager, taking care of cloud DevOps and other infra-related activities. But as you said, I just picked up a new role in the last 10 days on the data. I
Yeah.
do not come from data, but that's something that I'm very eager to learn along with AI.
Yeah.
And the reason behind me coming to you and enrolling for this course is uh, I've started to believe that if you're not learning AI, you'll not be relevant in this industry for too long. And I want to catch up in this race. I know I've played around a few of the tools in the bank, in my organization, and in the outside also. I've seen the potential that it has, and I'm sure this is going to be a great opportunity, not just for the engineers. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for the entire industry. And I want to make use of this opportunity that's lying in front of us.
Sure. Thank you so much, Kamlesh. Thank you. Uh, let's move on. Mayank, you want to go next?
Yes, sure. Okay, my name is Mayank Sharma, and I'm a recent BTech grad. I've just started my journey in the corporate or the working sector, and right now I work at a organization in Brookmark as a software developer.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Mayank. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Shivani, you want to go next?
Sure, but I was just thinking there is not much I can talk about myself. Well, I am an entrepreneur. and I was actually doing a little bit of R&D in understanding um, the kind of business I am um, running right now, startup you can say. For that, I needed to learn data science and AI. So actually, that's all my motive is to be here right now. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Yeah, I think so. Shivani, maybe not in this conversation, maybe in the follow-up conversation, since you are approaching this as an entrepreneur, right? You are bringing a different flavor altogether to this conversation, right? So in the next set of conversation, if we can bring up some problem areas that you want to actually address using AI, right? What's your understanding? How actually it can impact your business, right? If we can talk about that, that will be super helpful for the entire group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do have some certain things that I can already bring up. One of which is that using AI, I would like to reduce my economic output. Basically, I don't want to spend a lot of money in hiring a lot of people, honestly, with respect. If I can
Okay.
handle the operations on my own, that would be much more convenient for a startup like mine, where I'm not in a position to use a lot of funds to, enhance my company. So, that is one of the things. And secondly, yeah, how I can leverage AI and data science to actually compete with my competitors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, sure. I think this is great to hear, Shivani, and some of these aspects, of course, since you have a startup, right? A lot of common challenges, and I mean, at least I can resonate really well with the challenges that you have put onto the table, right? So we can, during these sessions, you can keep bringing. We'll talk about the productivity gain that we can achieve using AI and the new avenues AI can actually open up. Thank you so much, Shivani.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, we can move on. Swarna, you want to go next, please?
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. Good morning. So, I'm Suvarna Sharma, and probably the only person from non-tech background in the group right now. So, I've done my graduation in political science from Miranda House and did my master's in international relations from Karori Mill. And currently, I'm working on a startup called Bloommark, which landed me up here for this program. It is in the domain of books and literature and mental health, but we are driving it through AI and like generative AI. Basically, we are using for all the developments and operations in a um, product. So yeah, that's it.
Uh, Thank you, Swarna. I think the work that you are doing in Bookmark is very exciting, right? In our conversation, it has come across that some of the use cases that you are trying to solve uh, are actually they can actually picked and used elsewhere too, right? So I think it can inspire the entire group. Keep bringing all these experiences, Swarna. That will be super helpful. Uh, and yes, I think it's a different domain altogether. A
Absolutely,
very
sir.
exciting one, right? And so whenever you get time, I mean, referring to the rest of the participants, please do visit this website, blookmark.com. I think I have seen some literature out there. I mean, some articles out there. Amazing articles that you have written. Right.
Thank
So
you,
I
sir.
would like to know how actually you are harnessing the power of AI into Bookmark, Swarna.
Okay.
Right, and I
S-
assume that
hmm.
maybe Swarna, you and Mayank, you work in a way that you probably are driving the requirements, and Mayank, since he comes from the technical background, he's implementing those, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
That's how
Wonderful,
it's going.
wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And maybe a quick introduction from you, Sanya and Trisha, that will be helpful.
Hello everyone, hope you all are doing good. So I am Sanya and I have been working with TechBaton for almost 9 to 10 months. I have been doing most of the work around agentic AI and GenAI. So I would be assisting you around those topics and a lot more if you have any queries. I'm really excited to be on a journey with all of you. Thank you.
Yeah. I think we just to add to Sanya, and maybe again, I just want to make sure that there is some relevancy and some resonance that happens with the participant as well. So Sanya has worked a lot in the domain of agentic, right? And also LLM integration. I mean, that's a part of it, right? So anybody who is looking for how LLMs can be integrated into the existing workflows, how you can consume the APIs, what are the checks and balances that you have to take care, how LLMs work, right? Apart from reaching out to me, you can also reach out to Sanya for that, right? Her expertise is in N8N. That's a choice of platform that at TechBaton we also are promoting, right? Of course, in this 7 months, we are also going to talk a lot about Claude, right? But at the same time, I think in case if you are also implementing some agentic workflows using N8N, right? You can always reach out to Sanya. Yeah, thank you so much, Sanya. Let's move on. Trisha?
Hello everyone, I'm Trisha Agarwal. I also joined TechBaton about a year ago. I have predominantly working with agentic as well. I've also worked on N8N. I'm very excited to be here to be a part of such a vibrant and a diverse group. So uh, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, yeah. So Trisha is our research expert, right? So wherever we need new findings to be done, right? We share the problem statement with her, right? And she brings the solutions. So she has been working a lot on Claude, and while we were crafting this, I mean, we were drafting the overall program, right? We have taken this into consideration that there will be a few more tools that we have to speak in these sessions, right? Which are probably not listed in the brochure, right? So Claude is going to be one of them. I see that Claude is going. It's in the last 3-4 weeks, right? It has taken over the market as a by storm, right? So it's a super powerful tool, right? And it is going to make an impact, right? Yeah, so I think with that, we are done with the introduction. Aditya, you there in the call? Oh, okay. I think I see that you have been joining on and off. So I think the moment you're ready, we would like to hear from you, Aditya. But let's move ahead. So again, thank you so much. We understand that we are coming from the diverse set of group, right? And there are few participants who are not able to join today. Um, I'm hoping that on Monday, when we will start the course, I mean start the theoretical classes, right? The folks will be available, right? So we'll have a quick introduction about them as well, understand what is their background. Um, so I mean that will happen on Monday. Anyways, so let's move on. Let's talk about what you should be expecting in this course. Though we have spoken about the content, we also have shared that okay, the details in the brochure. But so this is how it is going to be executed. The week one is all about the introduction to AI, right? Python programming particularly, and one of the things which I would like to share here is that see, the development process is kind of automated now, right? Uh, Most likely, you will not be writing the piece of code from here on ever from scratch. So you will be relying on one of the LLMs to help you with that. Right? And now with vibe coding tools coming into play, right? I think this process is even further automated. Right? I was reading an article some time back, I think a week back, from Anthropic, the CEO, and there was a clear messaging that the way software engineering has been approached in the past many years, right? At least I can say this 30 years, there were a lot of changes that were happening. New technologies, new languages were coming in play, but I think the way of execution, the way of building products and application, it was pretty much constant. So the delta change now went from if you look at it hindsight, you see that the delta change that we saw in the last 30-40 years was very little. And with LLMs coming into the picture and a lot of people using them the way it has to be, right? It actually completely has revolutionized. So software engineering, the way it was done 30 years back, it is completely under challenge. So we are expecting maybe software engineering delta at 2.0 or a different dimension will get open up. So it's an exciting space. Again, Python programming, why we are doing it? So that you understand how the data is supposed to be handled. You should not be scared about the integrated development environment that we have, right? And some of these tools, as of now, and this is what our experience is, that some of these tools, whether it is Cursor AI, Claude, Replit, uh, when you work on them, there are some, I mean, you can develop a product or a- an application using prompts, right? Uh, you will give the requirements and the output will be produced. However, you have to debug the code at times, right? So once you reach that particular state, you should not be scared about the how the overall integrated development environment works. So it will give you an exposure on how a programming language works, and some of you already would know, right? And it will also help you to how in Python the data can be handled. So it's a 1 week stuff that we are going to do, three different classes, and I think the basics will be done just specific with data handling using Python. Right. Then we'll move on to machine learning concepts. We'll talk about supervised learning, unsupervised learning, regression, classification. I mean, these are very strong keywords, and I think these are very established as of now. So there is no new disruption that we are seeing in this particular space. Then we'll move on to advanced machine learning concepts, where we'll talk about deep learning, computer vision, right? And then followed by NLP. So this is, you can assume this is in a way, this is a phase one. And I request you to spend a lot of time on this so that because this is the skill set that we are trying to build. Right? Once you are done with this, you can move, we'll move on to Gen AI and LLMs, right? We'll talk about how generative AI works. We'll talk about how LLMs work, right? And how this integration can take place, right? And then eventually we'll talk about agentic AI, and we'll walk you through. We'll make sure that there are a couple of projects that we are working on agentic. And towards end, we'll also talk about responsible AI, right? So while we are learning these concepts, it's important that you know that there are some certain responsibilities, and there are a lot of experiences market already is going through, right? Some of the organizations who have not implemented right kind of checks and balances in the past, they have been penalized by the different forums, by the administration, right? So we'll talk about that, and at the same time, we'll talk about how the responsible AI needs to be implemented. This is also, since this course is aligned with AWS certification, responsible AI is one of the dimensions that we need to cover, right? So from that perspective, also we are going to cover this up. I guess Shivani, you have a question.
Yeah, I think I missed it, but I just wanted to know if we will be talking or we will be learning about data science via AI.
Oh yeah. So Shivani, if you look at it, right, the goal machine learning, NLP, deep learning. So these are the data science concepts that we will help you go through, Shivani.
Yeah, I would be a layman here if you could explain that a little bit because till now, I think most of us have used AI, generative AI only in the form of solving basic reasoning and basic problems, I believe. But when it comes to heavy data that we would like to analyze, for example, if we want to understand the product trends, etc., then that is also included. If I just wanted to understand that.
Yeah, I think you're bang on. And when we are going to talk about machine learning, right, you see that there are two different concepts: supervised and unsupervised learning, right?
Okay.
So if you're talking about any marketing analytics data, right, it can typically come into the supervised learning, probably depending on the use case, depending on the problem statement that we are trying to solve, right? In case if you are, say, if you are in the sales world, right, and you want to do some kind of sales prediction, right, that is where the supervised learning will come into the picture. Or maybe if you are, I mean, I'm just giving you some examples, but once we get into the week two, we'll talk about these aspects in much more detail. But
Understood.
just to understand and help you get connected with this offering, supervise is where you have the data, you know that, oh, what is the output, right, and you process this accordingly. And when it comes to unsupervised, say for example, if you have a offline store, right, for your organization, right? Maybe you are into the retail industry, and
Yes,
you
yes.
want to figure it out, where should I
That
be
helps.
opening it, right? So you do not know. I mean, you do not know what you are going to predict, right?
Hmm.
um, Typically when anybody or a customer who uh, lands onto any e-commerce website, right, they need to be categorized into different depending on their preferences, right? Again, an element of unsupervised learning comes into the picture. So you will get all those aspects, Shivani, in a nutshell. uh, Week 2, week 3, week 4, and of course week 1. So this is going to help you understand how the data science is getting implemented, Shivani. So we'll talk
Understood.
about a lot of use cases where the business problems can be solved as well.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah. uh, so any other question that we have?
Just one quick question,
Yeah,
Arun.
yeah, sure, Kamlesh.
So there are a lot of tools, right? I mean, even when it comes to AI, there are multiple tools, multiple integration, multiple LLMs also. Now, if I'm learning one set of tools here, will I be able to make use of the other tools that I have access to, say, for example, at my work or at my home? Uh, I mean, how different will it be if I learn this and if I have to adopt something new, new tool, the same concepts?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question, Kamlesh. What we are experiencing is that you can always categorize the tools into different based on their functionality, what they bring onto the table. You can put them into different categories. So, say for example, if you are talking about Gen AI, we can talk about OpenAI, we can talk about Gemini, right, and Claude even, right. So typically, what will be expected is that how do you integrate with them? How do you use them? Almost similar, right? They all have a interface, a chat interface. You ask questions, and they will respond with details. The quality of response can be different, right? And there are different ways to measure the quality as well. So depending on the kind of use case that you have, right, and also depending on the culture of your organization, right? Maybe one of these tools can be picked. So this is on LLMs, right? Uh,
Mm.
when you are developing a product using a prompt, I hope this language which I'm using, everybody is able to connect. We
Mm.
know what is prompt, right? By now,
Mm.
everyone,
Yeah.
right? Please ask me to stop because you understand that maybe we have been doing this journey for the last 2 3 years, right? So we are slightly ahead of the curve. So maybe we are using some jargons which we assume that everybody would know, but that would not be the case, right? So please ask me to stop wherever you feel that okay, there is a keyword which I'm using which is not known to you, right? Uh,
Mm.
so when we are developing a product or a website, right, or an application using a prompt, right, our experience is very different. If you are using Replit, it seems to be an easy tool, right? But at the same time, the product is not enterprise grade. So when you run into the challenges of multi-user, multi-currency, and so on, right? There you will have some challenges. But at the same time, those needs still needs to be tested. I mean, there are some theoretical aspects to it as well. When it comes to Cursor AI and Claude, I mean, again, these are the two tools where you can actually develop a software using prompts, right? This is where the user experience is very different, right? But these all are in the same category. If you understand one, journey to get into the other one is relatively easy, Kamlesh. So if
Understood.
you learn
Okay.
one, it will be easy for you to upgrade.
Understood. Okay. That's
Yeah,
great. Thanks, Arun.
yeah, sure. All right. So any other question that we have? All right. Okay. So let's move on. Though it was primarily a introduction conversation, but we thought, okay, let's also talk about AI and what are your thoughts, right? And maybe if we can converge on some of the definitions, some of the keywords, right? It will be easy for the rest of the sessions. So let's talk about what is your understanding. I mean, in this session, we are going to cover what is AI, types of AI, right? Application of AI, where all it is being used. I am sure that uh, about the application of AI, you know as much as we know, right? So maybe we'll quickly run through that. Ethics in AI and the different ideas and future trends. I think this is where I would like you also to open up yourself and share thoughts. Yeah. So let's talk about AI, right? So I think we all understand. I do not want to go into this questioning thing, right? What is your understanding of AI? We all understand that it's where human intelligence actually can be inbuilt into machines, right? So machines also start thinking like the way humans do, right? They start operating the way humans do, right? So this is the definition. I think I'm sure that we are aligned with that, right? I would like to know from you, what is your understanding of the historical aspects of AI when it got started? Any idea about that?
I mean, I've read it started somewhere in the 70s, 80s itself.
70, 80s. All right. Okay. All right. Um, any any reference that you can talk about? I mean, if you know of.
No, I mean, I vaguely remember it started in that period. I mean, the data was around when the internet was starting to come up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Anyone else? Yeah, I think so. The way it is called out, it started during the World War II, right? And we have to look at it from
No, I have to
retrospectively.
ask.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, Shivani, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I think Alan Turing was the one, right, who created the first computer. Is it related to that? I'm not sure. But
You are bang on. So why don't you go ahead and share what do you know about
um,
Alan Turing?
okay, so I know very little. Please forgive my very little knowledge. So Alan Turing was, I think, the first person. He created. Um, he started with decoding. So he had to decode for his. He was under Winston Churchill, if I'm not wrong. At that time, they were fighting the war, and he had to decode the Germans, or if I'm not wrong, who were they fighting with, but the Germans' messages. So that they can actually win the war. That was the main idea why he started, and there were few people in his team. So that was the first computer that he made, and that was the time actually the idea of that if machines could think came up. That's all I know. So please.
No, Shivani, I think you are bang on. You have all the necessary details. So that's where um I think that was the foundation stone Alan Turing set up for AI, right? So what he did during the World War II, um, uh, uh, a task was given to Alan Turing and his team to break the Nazi code, the way they were actually
Correct.
communicating between them, right? Now this is beautifully captured in a movie, Imitation Game. It's available on Amazon, right? Anyways, it's a good movie, so you can go ahead and see it. But you will have a lot of appreciation about how, uh, I mean, in those times in 1940s, right? He put up a system. He put up a super computer, right? And with lot of effort, they were able to develop those algorithms. They were able to develop this computer who was able to identify, okay, I mean, you know that there are intercepts were happening, have been happening since many decades, right? So they were able to intercept the messages between the two different parties in I mean I mean any relay message that was getting relayed by Nazis, right, among them. So they were able to intercept, and this machine, it will decode what this message is all about. Now, the imitation game, why it is interesting is because they did not react on all the messages. They actually chose a few one, and they reacted on top of it, so that Nazis will never get an idea that now Britishers know that how they are communicating. Right. So it's a very interesting movie, and that also actually laid the foundation of artificial intelligence. Any questions on that? Yeah, I think since then, AI has gone through multiple phases, right? And lot many times it has been called hype, or maybe something that cannot be achieved. Maybe it was kind of okay to say this in 70s, but the times we are living in, I completely don't agree that anybody who's calling it out AI is a hype. I think we are already seeing the consequences. I mean, uh, maybe consequences is slightly shady word. We can say that okay, we are already seeing the results of AI, right? What the impact it is bringing into the society, into the business world, and it is completely unreal, but it is not hyped. Right. So this is a brief history behind AI. Right now, if you look at it, there are three different components of AI. One is algorithms, data, and hardware. Right now, I have given you some hint, but I have a question now. See, if AI has been there since 1940s, which is like almost 80 years from now, what has happened now? Why all of a sudden there is so much surge? Everybody is talking about different tools, different solutions, right? And almost even the non-tech people, right? People from public sector, people from any kind of administration. It is not about tech people alone. Everybody is talking about AI. The recent wars, right? There is a lot of involvement of AI into it. So what actually has happened? Any idea?
Penetration of internet,
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point, Kamlesh. Anything else?
availability of infrastructure, easy availability of infrastructure, uh, modern chipsets available easily to develop all these large
Yeah,
language models.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely. What else?
basically, I think so, public access to the tools such as ChatGPT and etc.
Okay. Okay. So you are saying that democratization of some of the tools, right? So it is publicly
Yes.
available now, right? Right.
Mhm.
What else?
I think during the COVID era, everyone got pushed to this technological thing, whether they were tech or non-tech background, and that kind of pushed everyone to involve technology in every aspect. And similarly, during that time, the everyone started using ChatGPT. ChatGPT was introduced in our lives, and people started realizing that okay, we can do a lot of things because of this, and money started flowing in.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting point, Trisha. Uh, I think interestingly, the rise of AI, this phase particularly, it is colliding with the COVID phase as well. And maybe it is maybe after 5 years, 10 years, when we look at COVID era, we'll see that maybe just an hypothesis that maybe we'll call out that that particular phase. While it was very unfortunate what happened, but at the same time for tech world, it was one of the times where maximum innovation happened, right? I think this was the time when AI actually started showing up, right? Uh, but anyways, so let me share what I have for you, right? So I think we actually picked up some of these aspects. Sorry. I'm sorry for this. Yeah. So one of the participant is calling. Sorry for that. All right. So the compute power is a very important aspect. And you also brought it up, Kamlesh, that the compute power, the infrastructure has, there is a lot of difference between a lot of advancement has happened in the last 5 years. So we have got GPUs, TPUs, right? Earlier we were only talking about CPUs, right? So the GPUs and TPUs, and we'll have a separate conversation around it, what GPUs means, what TPUs means. But just for the understanding of the forum, that these are a different level of processing units that now we have, right? When you are dealing with graphics, GPUs were actually devised for the gaming industry, but now it actually revolutionized the way some of these LLMs, some of these solutions work, right? And TPUs is a typically from TPU. In TPU, T stands for tensor. So tensor is from Google. So they also have developed a processing unit which is compatible with TensorFlow, right? So in a way, anything that you are writing in native environment of Google, TPU is pretty scalable, right? So that's one. Second, which is very important, what has actually happened, and this particular wave is sitting on top of, I mean, AI wave is sitting on top of what happened in the times of internet. Internet, we saw this. It was a massive disruption, right? It actually starting over tech world in 80s, and the entire world was impacted in 90s because of internet, right? That's one. That was the first disruption that we saw. Then the second disruption was about mobile phone, and that's very important because smartphones, they in a way it amplified the generation of data, right? So massive data availability is the other part. Open source ecosystems. This is very important. I really love this particular part because open source, the access to the technology, it has significantly impacted things. So tools like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and many more tools, right? There are open LLMs as well, open source LLMs that you can use, right? I'm sure that you would know of it. But there is a big community who's working to get towards developing solution, and they are actually putting into public places where it can be used by others. So it's a powerful concept, right? Then breakthrough in terms of certain algorithms, specifically the the um the transformers, right? I'm not sure whether you know of it, but the transformers. There was a paper that was written in 2018, right? And 2019 we had ChatGPT. ChatGPT is based on transformers. It's a one of the deep learning algorithm, right? It helps you predict the next word in the sequence, and that's the basic concept, fundamental concepts of how LLMs work, right? So not only this, but there are many deep learning algorithms that actually have revolutionized, and specifically in healthcare, right? And of course, now when we see that, okay, there is so much, the technology is so much promising, right? A lot of investment is also coming into the play. Right? However, the maximum investment has happened in US, right? Even if you look at, I would suggest that you do some R&D around it as well. If you look at how the money has been invested by different countries, 90 to 92%, I think that's the number that we have. The money has been invested in AI by US alone. India do not figure out in the top 10 countries, right? And if you look at it, how we are placed, how we are positioned, how US is positioned, how other countries are positioned, you can actually virtually understand that, okay, why it is happening so, why we are lagging behind, right? So again, that's a different aspect, but the investment also has enabled this AI wave, right? And of course, now we have got platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, right? And the business is expecting a lot of things from AI, and that's why everybody is getting pushed that, okay, what solutions, what different products that they can deliver using AI. I hope we are okay with this slide. Any question? Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. So, okay, as I said, so we have gone through the different AI waves. So the first wave, it happened in 1950s and 1975s. So this is what Kamlesh you are referring to as well. This is where a lot of symbolic AI and rule-based systems were getting developed, right? Uh, Even machine learning algorithms, the models, right? They were there in 70s as well, right? And so there are some interesting case studies. Again, you can go ahead and Google it out, right? How in 1970s these statistical models were used by different music companies to promote their music. It's a beautiful, beautiful case study. uh, uh, I can also help you to point it out. And that's what probably was first wave and second wave. Right? Now, what actually was happening? Deep learning or the machine learning algorithms, they had power, but there were a lot of challenges. And since I also have personally gone through these different waves, I also know that when we were in 2000, maybe late 2000, everybody was talking about that. Okay, why don't we implement machine learning? But there were a lot of challenges, right? And a lot of use cases specifically on text analytics were thrown at me. I mean, I'm just sharing my own experience. So when you're doing text analytics, uh, one of the important aspect is how do you understand the context, where this particular data is coming from, what is the background, right? Now with transformers and also with LLMs, the contextual part has been solved, and it has been solved beautifully. Right? We'll also expose you to one of the tools, Claude Work, that we are actually exploring. But I think Claude Work is super, super powerful because once you set up the context, of course, you have to pay for the subscription for it. It is not free. Claude Chat is free, but the way you give context to Chat GPT, you share different things. What is your background? I'm not sure how you have been using Chat GPT. We'll talk about how the prompts needs to be uh, 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 needs to be written so that you can take maximum advantage of Chat GPT or Gemini. Right? You have to give a lot of context. Who are you? This particular problem that you are looking forward to, right? Who is going to be the intended audience? Say, for example, if I am a solution provider, I need to specify that, okay, I'm a solution provider. In case if I'm doing, say, for Bookmark, right? I should know that, okay, Bookmark in which domain it is, right? It should not be, I mean, when I'm bringing a solution, it should not be something that, okay, it should be generic. So that, I mean, if I am bringing that solution onto the table, Mayank and Sona should feel connected about it, right? So I can always say that, okay, there is this website, Bookmark, and I want to develop some AI components on top of it. But if you push more details around it, right? What is your background? What is the background of the people who are going to evaluate your solution? What is the problem statement that you are trying to figure it out, right? In which domain it actually exists. Right? So that is where the contextual thing comes into the picture. And this has been solved by LLMs. So this is a third wave we are sitting in, and it is a very, very powerful wave. And we, of course, we can see the impact. Quick one here. I'm sure that you would have read about all these different keywords, and maybe Shivani, it will be a matter of reference to you too. So artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, data science, right? We have these different keywords, right? Artificial intelligence is like a superset, right? It's an umbrella, right? Wherever uh, if you are implementing any source code which is helping any solution which is helping you take decisions, right? Which are complicated, which are complex, and maybe it requires some kind of human thought process. In a way, you can term it as artificial intelligence. Machine learning is a subset of AI, wherein the machine is learning based on the data that you are passing on. Then it comes deep learning. Now, deep learning is where the neural networks comes into the picture, how the brain works, right? So it is kind of imitating how the brain works. So that's the layer where deep learning comes into the picture. Then comes data science. So Shivani, this may be important for you. So when we talk about data science, we are talking about how the data can be used statistically, or you understand what are the different aspects of the data. If you are talking about different features that comes into the picture, say you're talking about uh, uh, maybe you're talking about the sales data, right? So which region, which sales provider, I mean, all those aspects, all those columns will come into the picture, right? You can always, you can do statistical analysis around it, right? And of course the visualization part is very super important. So when you are working on data science problems, you create dashboards, you create reports, right? And those not necessarily needs to be part of AI. They are pure data science. So as a data scientist, one of the important aspect is uh, that how do you do data storytelling, right? How do you interpret the data, and how, when you take it to the audience, right, how do you do the storytelling? That's a very important part of data science, right? uh, so if you look at it pictorially, I am sure that this is not new, this particular representation. So this is, if this is artificial intelligence, which is like a superset, we have got machine learning, which is a subset of artificial intelligence, right? And then we have got deep learning, which is further subset of machine learning. So in a way, of course, it is a subset of artificial intelligence too. And then this is how the data science works. So it's a combination of deep learning, machine learning, and a few more aspects to it. Are we getting it? So when you are dealing with the data, when you are analyzing the data, right, and you are doing the storytelling, and you're helping business take decisions, right? That is a part of the data science. Are we good with this? Sure. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So if that is the case, then let's open up this case study. So here there are four different personas, um, and let's talk about in which category they belong to, right? So I mean, this is an exercise I will open up to the entire team, right? So the first persona is about a floor manager. Her name is Lata, right? And it is it's a tech cafe, right? The name of this store is Tech Cafe, right? And you serve coffee, and there are a lot of employees or personas who are helping to run this store, right? So Lata is the floor manager, and she ensures cafe works smoothly without needing human intervention. So she actually decide what drinks to offer based on whether, which time of the day, and so on, right? Whether a robot or a human should take the order, right? She doesn't make the drinks herself, so she is actually managing the overall system. So that's her profile. Paddy is actually a chef in the kitchen, and please pay attention to the details, right? Because that's where you will be able to figure it out to which category this particular persona belongs to. Paddy is the chef in the kitchen. He wasn't born knowing all the recipes. I mean, of course, he learned, right? After preparing 1,000 lattes, uh, he learned how much milk versus coffee is preferred. I mean, over a period of time, he learned based on his experience. He keeps tweaking the recipes as he learns what customers like, right? So, I mean, it's a constant evaluation process that Paddy is going through, right? He doesn't memorize, he learns from data. Then we have Carolina, is a sous chef, right? A super skilled robo. Uh, this robo works under Paddy, and the robo can recognize faces, greet customers by name, understand the orders based on voice, right? It can also generate new ideas, what kind of drinks are required to be served, right, are to be prepared. And Carolina's brain is super powerful, right? But it needs a lot of data and training time. Then we have got Ahmed. Ahmed is an analyst, sitting some cabin, right? White collar job. He analyzes sales trends, right? Which drink sells more before 4 p.m. maybe in the evening, which drinks is actually preferred, right? Predict peak customer hours, helps the AI manager decide pricing strategies, gives insight that help Lara to take better decisions, right? Also, Ahmed gives inputs to Paddy, right? And a lot of statistics Ahmed use, and a lot of visualization he creates, right? So these are the four different personas. Now let's talk about uh, where each of these persona, in which category they fall into. All right, who would like to go first? Let's talk about Lata. I hope you're
I
getting the
think
question right.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So
Uh, I think so. Lata is a floor manager and she has to take decisions. So, like, she would fall in the category of artificial intelligence.
okay, okay. Can you qualify this more, Mayank? A bit more.
Yeah, because like basically, we want the AI to think like human beings and taking decisions about what which things to give to the other people. So basically, Lata is performing a decision-making process. That's why
Yeah.
I think so. She falls under the category of artificial intelligence.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Sona, Kamlesh, you want to give a shot?
Well, I can think of Ahmed as the data science guy who plays around multiple data and
Yeah. Yeah.
produces some uh, meaningful data to all the other three participants, saying who does what, who should do what, and producing data visualization. So that part is very clear.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if Carolina will be the artificial intelligence because she gets inputs from all the three.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, for her, for Carolina, I think the main catalyst is data, right? In terms of
Yeah.
she's getting from Ahmed and the other two personas.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sona.
Same as Mayank, like I think the artificial intelligence is the Lata because she's processing all the data and like in real time she's assessing everything.
Okay. What about Paddy? Nobody actually has given a shot on Paddy.
I think Paddy is machine learning.
Okay.
He
And yeah, please go
like
ahead, Isha.
he's learning from the data. He's not explicitly trained on it. So I guess Paddy is machine learning.
Okay. Um, Rest of the folks, do you agree with Trisha on Paddy? Okay. Shivani?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Mayank. And Shivani, any idea about these?
Yeah, no, not exactly. Still learning.
Okay. Okay. All right. So maybe I think Ahmad has been cracked really well, Kamlesh. So as we see that Ahmad is the one, he's an analyst, right? As typical data analyst, he's creating visuals, he's creating reports, right? Whatever he's able to learn from the trend of the data, he's actually passing it the details to rest of the people, right? To enable them in the decision making. This is typically a data guy would do, right? Uh, so if you are running a team of data experts, I am assuming that there are stakeholders sitting at the top who will consume the data and take some decisions, right? So in a way, you are facilitating that process, right? So anybody who is in the data world, they will. This is the definition of what they will do. I mean, of course it's an understatement of what they do, but this is the typical work that they do, right? Let's move on to Carolina, right? So Carolina is a sous chef, right? Now this is very important. Recognize faces and greet customers by name, right? Typical human behavior, right? So this actually falls into the category of deep learning. I mean, there are some details which have been kept here, but this is to maybe this is unnecessary, right? Data is actually will power all the four different personas. Maybe the quantity of the data can vary, right? But data is required for all the four different personas, right? So now, if you look at it again, recognizing faces, understanding the voice orders, typically done by the deep learning algorithm. When it comes to Paddy, I think this is very correctly called out by you, Trisha. This is a machine learning problem, right? I mean, it is getting into that particular category, right? And it's very clearly called out that Paddy has prepared 1,000 different lattes. So now, with data, Paddy has understood what would work, what should be the proportion between coffee and milk and so on, right? So he is learning constantly based on data, right? Not only has learned in the past, but he's is very clearly called out that he's learning from the data, right? So there is no it's only machine learning, and there is no mimicking of human brain here. So it is easy to put this into the category of machine learning. And when it comes to the floor manager, actually it's a superset. So Lata is taking all the inputs from Betty, Carolina, and Ahmed, right? So it's a superset, right? So this is how we will categorize. Are we on the same page?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any questions? Yeah, Shivani, please go ahead.
No, no, I just wanted to use the thumbs up
All right.
emojis.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So see, while just we are just tipping, we are just touching the tip of the iceberg. But all these different personas, they are in a way they are ocean in themselves, right? And a lot of job opportunities exist in each of these categories. People who will only tinker with the systems, say for example, if you are working with LLMs, you are integrating, you can probably say that you are an AI engineer, right? If I go back to the previous slide, uh, yeah. So if you look at this, somebody who's already integrating things with the AI, right? They probably will get into the category of AI engineers, right? Whereas if you are playing with the data, you are pushing some algorithms, which we will learn during this course, right? You are trying to understand the patterns. This is where the machine learning will come into the picture. So ML engineers again is a separate category. Then we have got DL engineers, deep learning engineers, right? Again, this is a further niche, right? And deep learning in the last 10 years, because of the data, earlier it was not there, the quantity of data, but now the processing and the data both are available. So deep learning algorithms are super powerful now. So in some of the areas, like for example, healthcare, right? There was an article which was published by a doctor some time back, and that article is very interesting, with clearly calling it out that it is very difficult to identify using looking in those scans whether it's a tumor, lung tumor, or it's a TB in the lungs. I mean, it's a very beautiful article, right? And he has taken years and years to understand and do a differentiation. It's a very difficult problem to solve, right? Not many times people will start, I mean, the doctors would start their procedure assuming that it is a tumor or it is a tuberculosis in lungs, right? And lot many times during the course, because tuberculosis, it takes its own time to show up, the results are initially negative, right? So looking into the scans, it was really difficult, but machine learning, I mean deep learning algorithms were able to solve it. And he was actually gaga about it. I mean, he was super impressed with the way deep learning algorithms have solved it. So a lot of organization, particularly Kodak, they are into, I mean, I'm not sure whether you have heard about this particular company. It's they manufacture cameras. Maybe in 90s, 2000, you probably would have used Kodak cameras, right? You would probably will find some ads as well. But they have gotten into a deep learning space, right? Where they are trying to build cameras that can scan the human body and identify the challenges, right? So again, all I'm saying is that these are the different fields altogether where you can actually build your career. And the same thing is applicable with data science, right? So understand your interest. And while you are going through this journey, if you find that okay, this particular dimension is interesting, right? Maybe you can think to go deeper into it. Okay, are we good here? All right. Okay, let's move on. Now this is very interesting. I'll try to close the session in the next 20 minutes. So I'll and some of these aspects I'm sure that you already would know. So I will try to skim through quickly. Okay, now so we have been talking about that this AI is so powerful. Yet if it come across that the this AI is actually a narrow AI. If I say it's a narrow AI, how does that land on you? I mean, the point is here is that why we are calling it as narrow AI, because it is focused to solve one particular business problem. Say, if you implement a machine learning algorithm which is running in the retail sector, it will be hard to pick up this algorithm and place it into manufacturing to solve some other problem. You, of course, you can take some learning out of it, but you cannot reuse. It cannot be multi-purpose, right? So all these examples that we see, whether it is chatbot answering queries, I mean, in case if you have, I'm sure that you would have seen a lot of chatbots, right? When you go on to the banking sites or maybe Swiggy, Zomato as well, right? So in case if you have developed a chatbot which is for Swiggy, and if you want the same chatbot to work on for Amazon, it may not work, right? So it is not multi-purpose. It cannot be used across domains, right? So everything that we see, most of the things, right? Not everything. Most of the things, whether it is Netflix recommendation, Google Maps, right? Face recognition, these are super powerful algorithms, but at the same time, these are narrow AI, right? Because they are solving one particular part of the problem. They cannot be used across domain. So what does that mean? That means that when narrow AI, I mean, there will be a time when narrow AI will be replaced with something which much will be much more powerful. And this is being called as AGI, which is general AI, right? Now, artificial general AI is a super advanced form of narrow AI, right? Wherein things that you should know is that uh, AI that can learn law, diagnose disease, and compose music. So you understand that, okay, there are three different domains that we are touching. Super powerful one. Law, diagnose disease, healthcare, compose music, creative. So you are bringing all these together. At this point in time, if there is an algorithm, it will help you to compose music. Of course, you can even compose music to the likes of Beethoven, right? Uh, Diagnosis is we already picked up an example. Law, there's a lot of effort that is already being done in the field of law, right? But one algorithm cannot actually solve all these cases. But in general AI, what will happen is that once you train the general AI, it will be all purpose. It will be able to deliver similar output across different domains, right? To some extent, but only to some extent, the LLMs, the way they are working, right? They are kind of representing AGI. However, in order to make this work, it is important that these domains they collaborate. I mean, the people who are working in the law field, they collaborate with healthcare, they collaborate with the creative field as well. Otherwise, AGI will struggle because you will not be able to develop the algorithms. Now, I mean, I'm just giving you an understanding how this is going to work out. And what is expected is that because of these LLMs, people who are very optimistic, they believe that by 2030, there will be AGI in place, right? Uh, the cautious effort or the estimates are they are saying that maybe in 15 years from now, AGI will be actually a reality. I think it will take another 30-40 years to mature. That's what my understanding is. But I know that every day there is some different innovation which is happening, and maybe it is actually breaking what we have developed in the past many years, right? And it is sitting on top of it. So in a way, I think the next few years are going to be super exciting. Let's see how soon AGI will come into being. Of course, it requires a different level of reasoning, memory, and abstraction. And what is expected is that if we have to solve this problem, quantum computing should come into the picture. I mean, it needs to be a reality at this time. At this point, I mean, currently it is in the R&D phase, and maybe it will take another 3-4 years. Then the latest article that I have read about quantum computing. Anybody aware about quantum computing in the forum? Have you heard about it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
heard, yes, definitely.
heard yes, definitely. But
Yeah. So I think you can take this as a homework. Please spend some time. Maybe 30 minutes will be sufficient for you to understand what is happening in the quantum computing world. What is quantum computing and how it actually can change the way the computing is done. It will actually amplify the power of processing, right? And amplify, when I'm saying this, is an understatement, right? So once we have quantum computing, I think that will also aid in the development of AGI. I think so. These are the things that I wanted to share. That okay, maybe for AGI foundation models are already set, right? Multimodal AI means that it is not only text that you deal with, it's videos, it's images, right? Everything put together. That's what we call as multimodal AI, right? Then we have agent systems, which we have already started working on. And these are intelligent agent systems. It's not that simple automation. It's an automation where the process can understand, learn, and then do the automation. So it's when we go into the agentic, you will be able to appreciate this more. I spoke about cross-domain learning. Again, it's a definitely a blocker. Unless until we actually get past this, it will be difficult. Memory and context, I think to some extent it has been solved, but not fully. This will actually be solved once we have the quantum computing in place. Uh, I think this is something which we all know that how in what all places AI is being leveraged, right? Healthcare, the diagnosis, the treatment planning, and personalized medicines. I think if you spend some time, there are some cool case studies which are there in the healthcare world. It has really impacted well. Then in finance, I think if you, I'm not sure whether you use Insta or you use YouTube or Facebook, but these days a lot of algorithmic trading ads, they keep on popping up on your screen, right? I think in finance there are a lot of use cases, and I'm sure that Kamlesh, you would know this best in the group, that what kind of use cases are there in finance world for AI.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think fraud detection is one of the areas where uh, from this team you can learn a lot, right? We have spent some time in working on fraud detection. So when we go into machine learning and deep learning, we can talk about some of the case studies that we have solved. Again, and transportation, autonomous vehicles, traffic management system, route optimization. I think there are many more use cases which are there in transportation. I think AI is impacting every possible sector, right? And I'm sure that, as I said in the beginning, that you probably know as much as I know about the AI impact, right? Okay, I think it's important that we also talk about bias and fairness in AI. We'll take a quick minute because, anyways, we are going to cover this as a separate topic in the week 7. Uh, but what is important for you is to understand that when we are developing a particular model, right, it can have some bias, it can have some unfairness as well. I mean, so how do we deal with that? What is bias? Right? When, say, for example, there are a lot of machine learning platforms, the way they were developed. Specifically, there are some examples which you will find publicly, uh, that they were used in the recruitments, right? And they were used by the FANG companies as well. Right? They were used for recruitment, and there was a bias towards a particular gender. And eventually it was identified, and I mean, a lot of shame game happened, right? But again, there is a bias that can actually always happen, and now machine learning may not be completely responsible for it, because eventually machine is learning from the data. So the data that you're supplying to machine, right? If the machine, that data is skewed. So these are economic terms, right? Where it is skewed towards right or skewed towards left. We'll talk about it once we go into the machine learning. But imagine that 80% of the data is biased towards a particular gender. Machine learning is going to throw output based on that only, right? So what we need to do is to control how the data is actually given to the machine learning algorithm, right? Garbage in, garbage out. I mean, that's a very simple concept, right? Technology can help to an extent. It can also help you understand what is the bias, though, right? But as a developer, or as an individual who is responsible for developing this system, it is our responsibility to make sure that the bias is taken care of, right? For that, you can bring diverse data sets, and there are ways how you can make sure that you're promoting fairness. Uh, okay, and then of course there are privacy concerns. Uh, I think all of our data is already residing with the FANG companies, right? Be it Facebook, be it Amazon, right? They have the data, right? How do they play with it? So there is a concern about it. A lot of organization, they already have taken some measures. Say for example, GDPR, right? GDPR is an act which is primarily was driven by EU, right? Where it actually pushes the all the organizations that collect data, that they take the consent from the users that they are collecting their data, and also make sure that the data is only used for that particular purpose which has been shared with the user. Right? And they will also have some kind of expiry. I mean, they will have archiving policies which they will share with the user. So again, some of these concerns, of course, because it's AI is so powerful, and you will see all these challenges coming in different forums where people are talking about, okay, they're concerned about their data. Maybe the people who have this data, they know more about you, or generally being said, right? So there are privacy concerns, of course. When you are, so why it is important? Because when you are developing these components, right? When you are developing these powerful systems, there is a responsibility which comes on your shoulder as well, right? Right. And as a leader, maybe as a developer, things can be different. But as a leader, it is important that you talk about responsible AI, fairness, explainable AI. This is again another aspect which is coming very strongly, that whatever your AI system has implemented, you should be able to explain how it actually has generated some output, right? And of course, AI is leading to job displacement and all. I think job displacement may be an exaggeration. It is that it is kind of redefining the job statement, right? So new jobs will come, new opportunities will come. The existing probably will phase out. That's expected to happen. Though, so it is important that we upskill and we encourage people to upskill. In case if you are a leader, you need to ensure that your team is upskilling to the latest and greatest which is there in the market. Okay, so with this, what we wanted to cover for AI introduction has been done. Do you have any questions? Okay, okay. I think some of these things I'm sure that you already would know. So just wanted to make sure that we are coming onto the same platform, same level. Now, let me change the gears here. Uh, uh, this is a slide on Python, right? And I would request, I will share you the details There are certain components that you need to download on your system, right? We need to We'll be using Jupyter and Anaconda primarily in the beginning, in the first phase.
Excuse me,
So,
sir.
yeah, sorry.
So your screen is not visible. If it's visible to others, they can confirm. But I think I cannot see anything.
I can
Uh,
see.
you can
I
see.
think it's visible.
Yeah, Shivani, in any case, I think we are going to share the PDF of this presentation
Okay.
with you, right? So I'm in on the last slide, and I'm talking about um, uh, what we require for the next session, right? You need to install Python on your system, right? Python is the choice of language. Why and what are the advantages? We'll talk about in the next session, which is going to be tomorrow, 8 to 9. What I would request is that there are different IDEs that you can use for Python. Right, I will give you a link. You please download that and be ready with your environment up and running. Are we
So
good with
one quick
this?
question. Yes,
Yeah,
one
sure.
quick question, Arun.
Yeah, Kamlesh.
I'm going to use my personal desktop for this, and I have a very minimum or a very standard memory and CPU. I think I have a 8 GB memory. So, do you think that's sufficient for this course, or
8 GB is okay.
yeah,
8 GB
okay,
is okay. I'm not sure about your the space that you have in the on the hard disk.
okay, I'll find out. I mean, how much is expected?
It should not be that much, but it should not be very cramped.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
that's
200,
manageable.
300 MB should be okay. When you
Oh, okay,
download, it can go into the GBs, but once you have done the execution, it will be 200, 300 MBs that will be required.
MB is good. Yes, I was just thinking if it's in GB or something,
Yeah,
but yeah, MB is good. Yeah, but 8 GB memory should be okay, right?
it should be okay. Uh, in case, just in case, it's the worst case scenario, Kamlesh.
Mhm.
We have got open labs for Python as well, which is
Okay,
available on internet, right?
mm,
Um, though I would not encourage that. It's important to have the local IDE so that you
makes
become
sense.
used to of it. You can play around with the stuffs. But in worst case scenarios, you can use those websites,
Open
open
labs. Okay,
labs.
right. And the cursor is the ID that we are going to use here.
Oh yes, cursor not immediately. Maybe by next month.
Oh, right. Okay,
It is going to come up in the week
wait.
5.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, Kamlesh. Yeah, that will require some memory.
Mhm. Sure.
Yeah, we'll see. In case if it's not working out, we'll figure it out. Cursor may not have any replacement, Kamlesh. For
Mhm.
that, we don't have open labs, so
Understood.
we have to figure
Understood.
out it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
understood.
yeah. Anybody has got similar concern? In any case, we'll try it out. We'll see how responsive once you install these softwares your system would be, and we'll try to figure out a solution. Okay. You have any questions? All right. So in that case, we'll stop here. It was wonderful talking to each one of you. This section was pretty much participative, right? I request you bring your questions, you bring your doubts. Please don't hesitate. The moment we park a question with ourselves, because it's a fast track one, it is going to impact the overall learning. So even if it is a very rudimentary question, please, if it is a basic one, please do not hesitate. Bring it out of the table. Right. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. And you can wait for some responses on WhatsApp. We'll make sure that the communication is happening on this group.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thanks so
Okay,
much,
sir.
Arun. It
All
was
Thank
right.
you,
wonderful.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you so much. You have a good
Bye.
day.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.